Namaste, my dear friends. What if everything you believed about growing old is completely wrong? What if the very years most people dread could become the richest, most peaceful, most deeply satisfying season of your entire life? Old age is so often painted as a time of decline, of loneliness, of slow and quiet loss. But the truth is startling. Old age can become the most joyful, most fulfilling chapter imaginable if you build it upon the right foundation. I call these the 4 pillars that make old age genuinely happy. Today I want you to sit with each one carefully, because they can transform not just how you experience old age, but how you live every single day that leads toward it. Pillar 1: Gratitude. Gratitude is the seed from which real happiness grows, particularly in old age. As we grow older, the temptation to focus on everything we have lost becomes powerful. Our health, our strength, sometimes even the people we cherished most. But genuine happiness never arrives from clutching what has already slipped away. It emerges from deeply appreciating what still remains. I remember meeting a man in his 80s who had weathered tremendous loss throughout his lifetime. His children were absorbed in their own busy worlds. His physical health had diminished considerably. And yet every single time I encountered him, he carried a warm, unshakable smile. Curious and honestly a little puzzled, I asked him directly, "How do you remain so joyful at this stage of life?" He looked straight at me with quietly luminous eyes and said, "Every morning I open my eyes and I thank God for exactly one thing. Today it is my breath. Yesterday it was my eyesight. Tomorrow it will be my memory." That is more than enough reason to smile. Gratitude completely reshapes our perspective. Instead of experiencing life as something heavy and burdensome, it reveals itself as an extraordinary blessing. Every cup of tea becomes a small ceremony. Every shaft of morning sunlight becomes a gift. Every laugh shared with a friend becomes something genuinely treasured. Research consistently shows that people who actively practice gratitude live longer, sleep more deeply, and suffer significantly less from depression. A clear throat, but beyond any scientific finding, a simpler truth holds firm. Gratitude cracks the heart wide open. One of the most powerful daily practices is keeping a gratitude journal. Record 3 things every single day that you genuinely appreciate. They can be wonderfully ordinary. A bird calling outside your window, a kind word offered unexpectedly by a neighbor, or simply the quiet miracle of waking up healthy this morning. Gradually, you will notice something remarkable. Your mind naturally drifts away from scarcity and begins instinctively celebrating abundance. But real gratitude is never merely spoken words. It must be felt completely, somewhere deep inside the chest. You will face genuine difficulties, physical limitations, financial pressure, the sting of loneliness. But even inside hardship, gratitude quietly provides unexpected strength. It trains our attention on what exists rather than on what has vanished. And in old age, when the body slows its pace, gratitude allows the spirit to genuinely soar. So my dear friends, if a truly happy old age is what you desire, begin cultivating gratitude right now, today. Thank the people who share your life. Thank every experience that has shaped you. And most meaningfully, thank yourself for enduring, for learning, and for continuously growing. True happiness begins the precise moment we stop pursuing what is absent and start fully honoring what is already here. Pillar 2: Connection. The second pillar is connection, the warmth of human presence, the comfort of genuine relationships, and the irreplaceable joy of meaningful companionship. In old age, accumulated wealth and material possessions gradually reveal themselves as hollow. What genuinely matters is the depth and quality of the bonds we have carefully cultivated. Loneliness is a silent and remarkably effective thief of happiness. Many elders suffer quietly because they feel utterly alone in this vast world. But meaningful connection is never simply about having bodies nearby. It is about deliberately tending to relationships that hold real substance. I once knew a woman in her late 70s who lived entirely on her own. Each morning without fail, she telephoned her childhood friends, spent time mentoring younger students in her neighborhood, and actively participated in community gatherings. She possessed very little material wealth by any conventional measure. Yet her life overflowed completely with warmth and genuine love. Her quiet secret was this: she chose to invest in people rather than accumulate possessions. Connection delivers a profound sense of belonging. It whispers to us that we are needed, genuinely valued, and truly loved. Even a seemingly small gesture, an unexpected phone call, a relaxed shared meal, a story recounted with real laughter, can meaningfully strengthen these invisible but vital bonds. Relationships carry us through dark and difficult periods. They amplify every celebration with deeper joy. They offer steady, reliable companionship throughout ordinary days. Technology today can certainly help us span physical distances. But authentic connection demands presence and undivided attention. When you truly listen to someone without the distraction of a wandering mind, when you extend genuine empathy, when you deliberately make time and space for another person, you manufacture happiness not merely for them, but powerfully for yourself. In old age, friends quietly become family. Neighbors gradually transform into dear friends. And memories built together slowly become our most irreplaceable personal treasures. Connection is the most effective antidote to isolation ever discovered. And above everything else, it reminds us that we belong to something larger and more meaningful than ourselves alone. So, my dear friends, tend your relationships with real care and intention. Reach out to someone meaningful today. Offer your hard-earned wisdom, your personal stories, your genuine laughter freely. You will discover that every drop of happiness you give away returns to you multiplied tenfold. Pillar 3. Purpose. The third pillar is purpose. The compelling reason to rise each morning feeling genuinely alive, energized, and curious about what the new day holds. Without purpose, life grows monotonous and flat. Even the most brilliantly sunny day feels somehow gray and uninspiring. But when purpose is present, every single day carries meaning regardless of your age. I once met a gentleman who retired at 65 and immediately felt completely adrift. He had nothing pressing to pursue, no genuine reason to rise early, and began feeling invisible and forgotten. Now contrast that experience with another retired man who spent his days volunteering inside local schools, offering guidance and encouragement to young entrepreneurs, and faithfully writing his personal memoirs. He certainly faced his share of difficulties, but he moved through his days radiating unmistakable energy and aliveness. His difference from the first man came down to a single word: purpose. Purpose can take countless beautiful forms: mentoring, volunteering, passionately pursuing a hobby, or even choosing daily small and deliberate acts of kindness toward others. It sustains mental sharpness, keeps the heart fully engaged, and preserves a genuinely youthful spirit. Purpose is precisely what prevents old age from becoming a slow and joyless fading. It transforms aging instead into an ongoing journey of meaningful contribution and personal fulfillment. Every single action gains new dimension when performed with clear purpose. The meal you prepare with care, the honest advice you offer, the stories you choose to share openly. All of it matters far more than you realize. And purpose recognizes absolutely no age limit. You can begin pursuing it this very day. A life emptied of purpose resembles a river completely stripped of water. It may still technically flow, but it nourishes absolutely nothing. So my dear friends, discover what genuinely makes your heart accelerate. What ignites that particular light behind your eyes? Then pursue it faithfully. Purpose sustains and fuels happiness in old age because it makes each morning feel genuinely worth greeting. Pillar 4. Acceptance. The fourth pillar is acceptance, receiving life exactly as it presents itself rather than as we desperately wish it would appear. Old age arrives bearing change. Bodies that move more slowly, priorities that quietly shift, and the inevitable passing of cherished people. Resisting these changes generates only deeper suffering. Acceptance, by contrast, opens the door to genuine peace. I once met an elderly gentleman in the depths of grief over his departed spouse. Rather than hardening against his pain, he allowed himself to weep openly, to remember her fully, and to honor everything her life had represented. Acceptance never meant surrender or defeat. It meant embracing his reality with complete and tender love. Life, like a great river, flows continuously forward. Happiness is never found in desperately fighting that current, but in learning to move gracefully alongside it. Acceptance frees us to release accumulated regrets, to extend genuine forgiveness toward ourselves, and to truly inhabit the present moment. It carries the reminder that all of life is impermanent, and within that impermanence lives a quiet, startling beauty. Accepting our real limitations, our actual circumstances, and our unalterable past returns something priceless to us. Freedom. Freedom from corrosive worry. Freedom from the weight of resentment. Freedom to discover genuine happiness right where we stand. When we fully accept life, the internal fighting finally ceases, and real living can genuinely begin. Challenges certainly remain unchanged, but our entire relationship with them transforms. We uncover deep joy hiding inside small ordinary moments. We find unexpected peace waiting inside solitude. We discover real contentment resting inside simplicity itself. So my dear friends, consciously cultivate acceptance every day. Release whatever lies permanently beyond your control. Embrace wholeheartedly whatever remains within your reach. And watch as life gradually becomes lighter, measurably happier, and beautifully more serene.